Hi, I'm the Recruiting Maven and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic of conversation is the law of attraction and your career. With that said, I just want to say a quick thank you for those of you who like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I deeply appreciate your kind support. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have an ever-growing playlist with career tips and advice, so make sure you check that out. What I wanted to kind of start off our conversation really is to go into the law of attraction, because that is not a new topic by any means. And although I'm a huge fan of Nichols, she certainly has said it best more recently, but certainly you can trace the law of attraction back to Florence Scovel Schinn. And she was actually born in 1870 and just has put out some fantastic books during her life. And as well as, you know, we all know Think and Grow Rich, and that actually was an account of Andrew Carnegie, and actually he didn't write it, but he had somebody else write it, which was Napoleon Hill, and that's another reiteration of the law of attraction, as well as one of my most favorite authors, which is Neville Goddard. Now, Neville actually had a more of a mysticism type of background, and he sort of married biblical context with esoteric context, and that was his own version or rendition, if you will, of the law of attraction. Now, you may ask, why are there so many renditions? One will just do. And the thing is that I find that sometimes when even I get stuck in trying to manifest something, if I read somebody else's perspective or somebody else's approach to the end result that I want to achieve, it's sometimes helpful to hear another perspective, right? And so it helps me to refine and be able to then move forward in a positive way. So I wanted to give you a very specific example. I have a friend of mine who actually was a chemical engineer, and he planted the seed with some very specific things he had in mind. He wanted to earn a specific amount of money, he wanted to live in a certain state, he wanted to start a family, and so many other things. And after a couple years, he just said to me, I feel like I'm heading in the wrong direction. I am actually not anywhere near where I thought I would be after 2 years. I mean, it's been a while. And now I'm going into this whole training session because now I'm forced to do that because the market, the economics of that time had changed. And, you know, what am I supposed to do? And, you know, we talked about it and we said, you know, if you set the intentions, you have to allow for the process. It isn't about you understanding or figuring out what the details should be to get to that end result. It's about allowing and accepting the next steps. And even though sometimes you may think it's completely headed in the wrong direction, again, it's about trusting that original intention that you set and allowing for that. So now we're going to fast forward to a year and a half after his training was just about done, and the company that he was actually working for was getting ready to lay him off. And again, we went into a frenzy of distress of conversations. This isn't working. How could this happen? That wasn't my original intention. And which then forced him actually to start looking for a job. And lo and behold, you know, some 4 or 5 years later, he actually landed a job in the state that he wanted. He eventually got married, had kids, and everything worked out. And actually, if you take a look at point A to point B, where he started from, where he, you know, in terms of a timeline, where he ended, it was actually closer to 10 years. And so that's, you know, sometimes, again, we just feel that everything should be at microwave speed, and that doesn't always happen. So I just want you to know that the law of attraction is not a one-size-fits-all type of situation. So be prepared. You may have to wait a little bit longer than somebody else did, and that's just the way it goes. I also wanted to share one of my favorite quotes from Florence Scovel Schinn, and she says, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy." Now that's a lot to think about, right? Because it goes back to our original intent and how pure that is, and ultimately that purity of thought and making sure that that stays really pure, if you will, that's going to help you to get to your end goal. Now I talk about that specifically because there's a camp out there that says, oh listen, you know, once you have this seed that you've planted about your goals, your aspirations, your passion, then you have to share it with everybody. And I would say, no, I would not share that with anyone, because then that energy that it's in its purest form really becomes dissonant, because then you have other people's thoughts on it. And although some people are very well intended, and you know, I don't think that there's malicious intent, but you do get people that will say, oh, you know, that's a great goal. Oh, I'll support you. I will uplift you. I will encourage you. But deep down inside, and of course they will not share this with you, they're thinking, I don't really think that that person can actually achieve that goal. But on the outside, I'm just gonna be as encouraging as I can because, you know, they're a good person. I like them. I want to be positive with them. And so all of a sudden, that original intent and that original pure energy, again, just gets really dispersed. And so getting from A to B being your end goal is gonna, you know, be delayed, unfortunately. So just be cautious of that, because a lot of people won't tell you that. And, you know, good things, I always say, keep those things to yourself. Don't share them with anyone, because that's just my philosophy. So anyway, I do hope you got something out of this, and as with anything, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. I deeply appreciate your kind support, and I will see you in my next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.